once I get in a task, it is really hard for me to stop until it's done.
I catch myself and I'm like, dude, remember, you know this doesn't matter. You know it doesn't say anything about you. You know all you're here for is the paycheck.
Instead of just having like a super stressful day, I was like, now I'm on a scavenger hunt to see if I can do all these
Yeah.
different tasks.
They're
Yeah.
like, choose a shoe. Yeah, I know.
Did you ever use your mouth as a speaker? Yo, yo, welcome back. We're not for everyone. This is a podcast hosted by one hater. That's me, one lover. That's Jess. And I've come here today with a little work stress, life stress mindset hack to share.
How did you know I needed literally that? Nothing more, nothing less. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
need. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, okay, so here's my hack. I think it applies for me, it applies particularly to work stress, but kind of to like a lot of different daily stresses. Daily stresses that aren't like not an existential stress. It's not going to help with that, but just like
Hmm.
daily, like I'm having a really stressful day. This day fucking sucks. Or like I have so much to get done. Or like, oh, I have to do this, this, and that and run around and la la la. This is my new hack that I'm doing. So I had a day like that the other day where it was back to back running around. It's 109 degrees in DC with humidity and literally like just like sweating through the streets. I was trying to find I can't remember what I was doing, but I'd like run errands for a work thing on a timeline. Stores were closing. I was losing light to film, blah, blah. It was just like a million. It was just one of those stupid days where you're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, and it feels so stressful. And it also starts feeling important. And
Mm.
I personally feel like I don't care what your job is, unless you are saving lives, it's not important. It's not, is my hot take. And like my no, I most I'm gonna say most people's jobs are not important. If it mostly takes place on a computer,
Yeah.
it's not really important.
Hmm.
And and also the way that I feel really with any job I've had long before I was doing social media, long before that, even when I was in tech or when in whatever, is that I still get really stressed out because it feels like when you have a lot piled on you and it feels like it's really important and there's deadlines and you're stressed and people are asking you for things and expecting things and you're disappointing someone or you're disappointing yourself or you think you'll get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. It feels the stress is incredibly real. And then inevitably you finish whatever has to be done. Maybe you finish it on time, maybe you finish it late, maybe you finish it early. I don't know, but eventually you finish it.
Hmm.
And my experience of that stress is then it is so distant to me and seems so not important at all, at all, that like even like a few days out, I forget that I was stressed about this stupid work thing or this hectic schedule in my day at all. As opposed to, if your family member's like going through chemo, it's stressful while it's happening. And once it's in the rear view, it's still, you can still feel the stress of
Feel
it,
it.
right?
Hmm.
If someone's dying, you can still feel the stress of it. If you're an EMT and you watch people die on the side of the road, like once it's in the real view, you can still feel the emotion and the stress of it. Okay. When you're sending out professional fucking emails,
Hmm.
no, it's very hard to stay
All
in
you have
touch
to hang on
with how that
to
matters.
is rereading your email over and over again to make yourself feel important. Like, oh, look at this thing I pushed out of my ass. But
And
that's
I
all you
never,
have.
it doesn't make me relive the stress of it. My personal
No.
experience, looking back, is always like, why was I so worried about that? Like, of course I would get it done. Like, I get stuff done.
Yeah.
I can't think of like a job in the world where it's like, oh, I have this really stressful deadline. It's a tight deadline, la, la, la. And there's a chance that it'll go on forever. No, like things
Hmm.
end, time passes, stuff changes, whatever. The world goes on. And it's just work. And so even part one is even when I'm really stressed about work or something now, and sometimes, my friends are sweet and they're empathetic, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. I don't actually like to indulge in it too much because like it's just work stress. It is just work stress. My family is alive, my friends are healthy, people are doing well. Like it's just work stress. It's going to be okay. It's not pleasant right now, but it's going to be okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then in the moment, I had this day where I was running around, chicken head cut off. And I don't know why I had this funny thought where like I was getting snappy, I was getting nasty. I was probably snapping at Justin because I don't have enough time and I'm impatient and I'm stressed out and I don't have time for people or relationships. And I had this funny moment of just like disliking the way I was acting
Mm-hmm.
and letting this work stress like change how I was moving through, I don't know, just my attitude and everything. And I had this moment of like, A, realizing it doesn't fucking matter. Like, this work stress is not worth like snapping at people about, or even just like feeling negative privately throughout my day. And I kind of had this vision of being on a scavenger hunt. When you do like a fun scavenger hunt, that's, I mean, they're only ever for fun. And it's like go through the city and like you find this and you have to get one of these and you have to what, I don't know, maybe it's like a college freshman year orientation
Yeah.
activity. Maybe it's something with your sorority. Maybe it's like a team bonding activity at a new job. I don't know when people do scavenger hunts, but there is a stress involved of like these things I have to get done. And it also doesn't fucking matter. So it's fun. And the stress can be fun. The
Yeah.
stress can be a game. And that is, I actually don't feel like doing a working a job, like 90% of jobs that aren't life-saving, I don't think that those are actually very different from a scavenger hunt. It's like it doesn't really matter. The stakes that we've made up stakes for why this matters, just the
Yeah.
way we make up stakes in like a team building exercise scavenger hunt. It doesn't really fucking matter. And and it's gonna end and it's gonna get done because the scavenger hunt always ends and there's gonna be a new one next week and I'll have a new thing I can stress about and make up pretend meaning and wait for if I want to. But I just had this, yeah, idea in my head of like also looking back at this time in my life fondly one day when, maybe I have kids, or the kids are out of the house, or I'm decrepit, or I can't walk anywhere, and I like romanticize my youth and my 30s, and things were crazy then, and I was running all around the city then, and I didn't know, if I would make these deadlines, and like it's a romanticized game. These are scenes you would put in a movie that would feel fun to watch in a movie because the stakes really aren't that high. It's just like the
Mm-hmm.
hecticness of like New York City life or like
Yeah.
life in your
It's like a
30s or
rom-com,
like
like the
it's a
rom-com girl
rom-com.
who always works at the
Yes.
like media company as a journalist and like things are chaotic, but she's hot and it's fun and
Yeah. Yeah,
like
it's The
yeah.
Devil Wears Prada. It's a
Yeah.
rom-com and like the stress is high and there's reasons we get stressed, but it also doesn't fucking matter. And it's just like a game and it is my future romanticized moment. And and I was able to get in touch with that in the moment and be like, instead of just having like a super stressful day, I was like, now I'm on a scavenger hunt to see if I can do all these
Yeah.
different tasks. And the fun thing is, none of them really matter. And even if some of them matter a little bit, they're gonna get done eventually. And then I'll fucking forget about them. And I'm not gonna expend a lot of negative energy here because that energy is going nowhere and I'm not even gonna remember it in 2 days. And so now I just, when I have like a horrible day, I'm just like, this is a scavenger hunt. La la la.
Yes.
Is that
So
helpful to anyone?
yes. Well, okay. I generally agree and I have a lot of thoughts and things to say, but I will just first say that we were texting or voice messaging or something, I think on the day or maybe the next day after what you're describing of like that chaotic day that you were running around the city and things were really busy and you
It's
said
been like
something.
2 months straight.
Well, yeah,
It's been a period,
it's been a
yeah.
while. So last week you said something in a voice memo to me about the scavenger hunt of it all. Like you referenced this concept, but you hadn't given me this whole spiel
Oh,
yet.
I didn't explain it. I was just talking to myself.
You just referenced it and you were like, you know, because scavenger hunts are fun and whatever. And I just walked away from that voice memo being like, I hate scavenger hunts. I don't find them fun. Like,
No,
what
so
is she even talking about?
I don't actually like them either, but you know why we don't like them is
Because we
because
make
we
them mean
treat them
something.
because we make them
Yes.
mean something the same as our
Yes.
workday because we cannot not make it matter. I think
Yes.
because you and I both are like so reverent to authority. We want to please people. We want to please the team. We want to please whoever
Yes.
fucking organized the scavenger hunt. Somebody gives us rules. You have to do XYZ in 2 hours. And we're like, oh, these are real rules.
Yeah.
It's because you and we do the same thing in a scavenger hunt as we do, I think in our workday. And I think a lot of the people we know do.
Yeah.
Um, but in a scavenger hunt, like I get nervous, I get stressed, but I also am aware that like it doesn't really matter, but I'm still
Yeah.
stressed, but I'm giddy a little bit. I'm a little giddy.
You're a
I
little
don't
delirious. Like,
yeah, you're like
because it's
ah!
kind of random shit that you're doing and it's like funny if you're able to step outside of yourself, then it is funny that you're getting stressed about
Yeah.
these random tasks that you know don't matter, but it is
Yes.
so easy to lose yourself in the stress of that if you're like this go-getter type of person or people pleaser type of person or whatever your motivator is for wanting to
I
like
think that's the
accomplish the thing,
I
you
think that
know.
is 100% the audience of this podcast
Yeah.
is people who probably get stressed out
Get
during a
stressed in
scavenger
scavenger
hunt.
hunts.
And it's like it's so funny you just said like doing this task that probably doesn't matter. Like what's a scavenger hunt task? It's like go to like the nearest park and take a photo with a man in a green hat.
Yeah.
That that does not matter any less than like send an email to set up a Google Meet at the appropriate time to discuss these la la la.
Right.
Those things both matter the same 0%. Both of
Yes.
these are made up things that don't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I so in that way, yes, 100%. I like this.
Okay,
I can
okay,
embrace
okay,
this.
okay.
I can
Yeah.
embrace this. The thing that you started to say that I've been like has been my mantra in stressful times forever is this idea of like it's gonna get done. Basically, like the for me, something that helps is like the time is gonna pass. Let's say I have a deadline on Thursday. Like whether I like it or
Yeah.
not, whether I'm ready
Yeah.
for it or not, whether I kill myself over it or I chill out or I do something in between, Thursday is gonna come. And so, and I tend to be a person who does end up getting the thing done. And even when I haven't gotten the thing done, like it's been okay. So I feel like that part of it for sure is something I use all the time when I
Yeah, it's
psych
gonna get
myself out
done.
about tasks. It's like the time is going to pass, that deadline is going to come. I'm probably going to meet it. Even if I don't, it's whatever. But like
Mm-hmm.
it's coming whether I want it, whether I'm ready or not. I don't know. And on one hand, maybe that could stress someone out, but for me, I think it helps me just realize that like I don't have to control every single aspect of it. Like I can't control that that day is coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
So it makes me able to like let go of the things that I'm trying so hard to like hold on to and get done and like make perfect. Um yeah,
Yeah.
and now I'll think of them like a scavenger hunt and I just won't do them because I hate
Because I
that.
hate those things. I would never sign up for a scavenger hunt. I am so
No.
not that person.
It's
No, I hate
something
that
that
stuff.
adults are forced to do
Some people like it
periodically.
though. Some people,
Mhm.
and I think all those people are active on Reddit. Some people really like it.
Oh, I mean, I love my Reddit fam. I've been on Reddit like every day this week looking up weird symptoms I'm having.
I like Reddit. I like Reddit.
I love
But
so no
you know what
shade
I
to my
mean?
Reddit people, but yeah, if you like
I'm
scavenger
on
hunts.
Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. We're
I
both
feel
Reddit
like there's
people.
all I don't know. I feel like I've like heard about like a lot of like international scavenger hunts formulated by Reddit
Mm,
to decode something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Let me just have fun looking at makeup forums on this
yeah.
place
Well, that's the other thing I was thinking is like it's gamification. Like what you're talking about is
of
a
the
little bit of it
nothingness.
is gamification. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's the
It's
way.
gamifying the complete lack of meaning in your job, in your day. Let's make up a scavenger hunt. It's like, how can we gamify this meaninglessness?
Yeah, I mean,
Truly.
it's even what happens on social media and with swiping and stuff. It's like, the
Hmm.
act of swiping and the culture of like send funny things to your friends, like it makes you feel like you're on a search, like you're it's a scavenger hunt for dopamine or something. It's like a search
Yeah.
for like what's going to be the funny video, like, oh, I haven't found it yet, keep swiping. Like even that is a form of gamification.
God.
So if we could apply that, if we could actually make that like work for us and be like, okay,
Yeah.
everything's gamified anyway. I'm living in this weird simulation.
Genuinely.
Like
Genuinely.
I might as well make my job feel a little more like that and like release the stakes that I've attached to it.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. It's so
I
hard.
had I had three, so I put out three videos a month on YouTube now. Each video takes about, usually on average, like 40 to 50 hours of work. And so that works out pretty well over a month. And there's other random shit, podcasts and blah, blah, blah. It balances out to like a pretty reasonable work schedule. But with my my editors have I'm are
Abandoned you.
pursuing, they have been growing and exploring their other interests and producing films and film festivals and doing fucking amazing things, which like is exactly what they should be doing. And yes, it meant that the last like 6 weeks have been horrible for me.
Yeah.
Which is like exactly as it should be. That's what they should be doing. But so it left me at the end of this month. I had put out zero videos as of a few days ago, and I because I didn't have any of them ready, and I ended up putting all three videos out within like a week, and so that was like, I don't
A
know, like
lot.
150 hours of work that I squeezed into like the last like week and a half of the month. And of course, I was getting stressed, and of course, I was being like, "How am I going to get this done?" But in my lifetime on YouTube, I have never missed a deadline. Like usually, the deadline is within that month. So the thing that keeps me a deadline is just brands. Bombas
Yeah.
is sponsoring this video. They're like, the video has to go live in June. We have a monthly budget. So the video has to go live that June. So near the end of every month, I always get crazy because I'm approaching that deadline. And I have never had to bump it to another month. And even if I did, I don't think anyone would shoot me in the head. I
Yeah.
think that the brand and I would probably find out another deal. And it's gonna get done. And then the stupidest part of all is just knowing that like it restarts next month.
Yeah.
So I am just determined. I cannot become like a horrible, miserable louse of a person to my boyfriend or fiance or my friends or my family or whoever I've interacted with, or even just privately to myself every month or the
Yeah.
end of every month.
Like
And like,
midway through the month. It's
yeah, I
kind
was
of
just
like your
like,
cycle. You have
ever.
like
It
a
is my
week where you
cycle.
feel normal, and then the rest of it is
Yeah,
like this crazy voyage.
it's
Yeah,
the
I
same. I
know.
think it's the same for most jobs. I have a friend who like he's in charge. He had a job where he was like in charge of the I don't even know how this is a job, but apparently it was very stressful. He worked for Amazon somehow, and he was in charge for like making sure the subtitle, like language translations, were released for the Amazon Prime movies all around the
Mhm.
world. And apparently that sounds like something that shouldn't be like a midnight release, like countdown. Like that doesn't sound something that needs to be that time sensitive to me. It
Yeah.
kind of seems like whenever you got it, you got it. But apparently this was basically like working for NASA. And it was, so I do believe it was a horrible job for whatever reason. Like I don't understand the specifics of it, but he was genuinely like working around the clock, always
Wow.
stressed. And I did feel bad for him because like I know he's not um like exaggerating what his hours are like or exaggerating the pressure that's being put on him, but but it also for sure doesn't matter. You're in
Hmm.
charge of putting out subtitles for Amazon movies and make like and like coordinating their releases. I don't even know, how is this a job? And it is a job, and it's apparently a very stressful one, but that doesn't change the fact that it really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
I
think
don't
so
know what
much
to
of
do with
it,
this level of stress. I don't know what to do with it.
is like the pressure, you said this, like the pressure put on him or put on any of us in our jobs. Like when everybody is operating in a schema of this matters, even if you individually have figured out that it doesn't really matter, it is
Yeah.
so hard to break from that cycle and that like culture because you're existing in it and everybody else is acting that way. I
Yeah.
think about that all the time with work because I feel like I've done so much work on myself to be able to like kind of have boundaries with work and detach my value from it. And like, I understand what I'm there for. And it's very much like to make a paycheck and get good benefits and like have some structure to my day and, maybe do some good work here and there. But like, other than that, it's not everything to me. But even still, I find myself in these certain weeks where I'm like, spinning, spiraling out of control, like so overwhelmed, so stressed, and I catch myself and I'm like, dude, remember, this doesn't matter. It doesn't say anything about you. All you're here for is the paycheck. Like, relax. But when everybody around me is like, hey, where's this thing? Hey, we have to get this thing done. Hey, la la la. La. Like, no, not, it feels like you can't break from it even if you
Yeah.
individually have. And the weird thing about that is that I feel like our culture has shifted in the direction of like, have boundaries with work and like corporate jobs and they're just going to be there and it's just sending emails and like we all kind of have this understanding. So it is weird to me that like sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who in my sphere of people I work with who like has that clarity. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know you guys think this too. Like I know we all
Yeah.
kind of know that this is a fabricated deadline and arbitrary and like kind of BS and whatever. So why do we
Mm-hmm.
continue to play the game? It's very I think about it all the time because I think if we could crack that code as a society, then like everybody would be better off for it. And
Yeah.
I don't think I don't, even the signals that we might have been heading in that direction
I know.
haven't actually gotten us to move in that direction.
Support for Not For Everyone comes from BetterHelp. Obviously, Jess and I have a lot of feelings about workplace stress, and I know we're not the only ones. It's hard to avoid the stress when your inbox never empties and the to do list never ends. And a lot of us will take the time to set our yearly work goals or quarterly, daily work goals, but it's so much more important to take the time to do the same with setting your mental health goals. How are you going to take care of your well being today, this week, this year? BetterHelp makes it easy to start therapy on your schedule from anywhere. Even one small step like talking through your day with a licensed therapist can shift how you handle the day. And it's funny because I will easily spend money on clothes, on home decor, or dining out, but there's really nowhere better to spend your dollar than on your well being. The effects go so much farther than just one fancy dinner or one cute outfit. This summer, make room for yourself. Prioritize your well-being. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month by going to betterhelp.com/notforeveryone, all spelled out. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/notforeveryone.
Well, to me, I think it feels much more like a personal, it does feel like something that is maybe more in my personal control. Like I don't have to make everybody else change. Because to me, let me back up. I think what I am saying is not that like we should push these deadlines back more or that
Mm.
the subtitles shouldn't have to be released on that day or that I shouldn't have to commit to a deadline for my videos for brands or that I won't do the same amount of work.
Yeah.
Um, to me, it's more about like the energy with which I'm getting that work done. Because I'm not saying we should even be less productive or less proficient or efficient. Like that is a culture some places, but whatever. I fucking like working. I don't care. And I like getting stuff done. I like making things, whatever. A lot of people get, whatever kind of gratification from feeling proficient at their job. Yeah, I'm not even saying like, oh, I don't care about this deadline because this work doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get it all done. I'm going to do it at the same rate, but there is a personal shift I felt like
Yeah.
was the thing I discovered of like the severity and the like gravitas with which I am getting the work done.
Yeah.
That was a personal shift in me. And if other people don't have that shift in them, it doesn't really like sucks for them, but like it doesn't have to affect me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. It's like sometimes it feels like the work matters because you're telling yourself it really matters and the deadline is really important and scary. Sometimes it feels like it matters because other, teammates are telling you it's important and scary. Um, and
Yeah.
but wherever that voice of like this is really important and scary and you should be really stressed for the next week that you work on it, you can get a lot of stuff done and be very regimented and put a lot of hours in if that's what the work requires and that's what you want to do without, for without acting like it is life or death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess it feels life or death like, if your job is actually in peril or you get a really bad um what's it called, like performance
Performance
review or
review.
something, that does get a little more existential. Of course that's stressful, but when it's just like I have to get this stuff done in time and I always do and I will and then it'll be
Yeah.
done, I don't
Yeah.
want to expend this negative energy anymore.
Totally. It is a choice of energy. Um, and I totally agree. That is what you can control. And I feel like I generally do a pretty good job of that. But I still surprise myself on those weeks where I'm
Totally.
like, oh,
Yeah.
really? You're this pissed
Yeah.
about this?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like there's two halves of me, and one of them is looking at the other,
Yeah.
being like, dude, like, why are you expending your energy on this? But like that half that's expending my
I
energy and
know.
really, really frustrated about it is really in it and is really frustrated about it. So it can
Yeah.
be hard to talk myself off that ledge, even though I know, like,
Yeah.
even though the other half of me is very clear that, like, yeah, you're gonna have to work a little more and it's gonna get done. And you don't need to, like, I totally understand what you mean, like, the vigor with
Yeah.
which you,
Yeah.
like, approach it. And, like, the anger that I come down the stairs with to talk to Ryan about what just happened on the call I was on. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
won't fucking believe what just happened. And he has to, like,
Something that doesn't
pretend
matter.
to get
You won't
riled
even
up with me.
believe.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And I'm
fucking
like, well,
matter.
it all started because of this like AI tool that we're implementing. Like what are you saying, girl? Why are you so mad? But when you spend so much of your time in it,
Totally.
I've also been
Well, it's a
thinking
trap. Yeah,
it's a
because
trap. They want you
if
they
you,
want you to do that.
but also like if you 100%, if all you can think about is how your work doesn't matter, it's going to be pretty miserable to do it. It's like it's a
Exactly.
balance. You have
Exactly.
to, I feel like I have to be very intentionally aware of like, no, making YouTube videos doesn't matter. But I am choosing to do it because it gives me structure. I enjoy the creative parts. No, I don't enjoy the stressful parts, but I enjoy the creative parts. I like feeling productive. I like sharing something with people. I like connecting with people. It's more meaningful than a lot of other shit I could be doing.
Yeah.
It's less meaningful than some other things I could be doing, but like I choose it for a reason. So it matters in some way. I think, yeah, if when I've been, I mean, when I was like coding websites to like that websites for
You
like
couldn't
companies to
convince
just sell a
yourself.
product, I was like, oh, this really doesn't matter. This
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
It's interesting because I've
But that
also
was
been
just me.
thinking.
Other people thought it did. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
personal. It's
I've been thinking
personal.
about this like work that matters thing because when I started in my career, I chose a career in healthcare, public health, because there is an element of it that does matter. Like at the end of the day, I'm not a doctor, I'm not saving lives,
But sure,
I'm behind a
yes.
computer. But
Yeah.
the long term output of the work is ideally helping people live healthier lives and get healthcare that they need and all of that. So I could like tell myself a story about the impact of my work and that it does matter in the long run, knowing also that I'm spending my days stressing over emails. And so, like, balancing those two things in my mind. Recently at work, I've been super stressed out, and I feel like I've talked about this a little bit, but just when you get when you've been at a place for some number of years and you're like a generally a good employee, a go-getter, like a person that gets shit done, whether you want it or not, you become important to a level. I'm not saying I'm like the CEO level of important, but like you kind of have your area of expertise and people know to go to you for stuff and like you get entrenched. And so that's where I am. And I've been thinking about it a lot because I'm like, do I want this? Like part of me likes it and feels, I don't know if
You become
fulfills the
too
word.
important. You become too
Yeah, like
respected.
part of me likes to be important, you know? I like
Totally, of
feeling
course.
important.
Of
And then
course.
part of me is like, but that's why I get so mad about stuff and I get so riled up and I
Mm,
get so like
mm.
vigorous about the work cuz like I'm starting to let it say something about me. And I was thinking like, okay, what if I'm not doing this. I'm not planning on doing this anytime soon, but just doing the thought exercise of like, what if I got another job? Because at another job, I would be new for a year. So, like, really, I'm not important yet. I don't have to, like, be the star right from the get go. Then there's probably year two, I feel like I would maybe start to like it because I'm finally understanding like what we even do here. And then year three is
Uh-oh.
really
I'm
when you become
important again.
important. Yeah,
I'm important again.
that's been my experience in every job. Year one, you're kind of chilling. Year two, you're like, oh, this is actually cool. I'm glad I like got this job. And then year three, you're like, fuck, I'm in too deep. So I was doing the exercise of like, okay, if I started a new job and gave myself that like runway again, what what type of job would I get? And I was thinking about leaving healthcare and what that would look like and how it's like so different from my schema from how my schema has been around work because the whole reason I entered this industry was like to do something that matters, quote unquote. But now I feel like with the podcast, I get to do something that matters. Like I feel like this matters as much as a podcast. I'm grounded that it's a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I think it matters. I think I help people. I think I connect. Like there's something here that fulfills me and feels like it matters. So it almost makes it like in my corporate job, um, maybe I can just go work for something that's so random and small and has no impact on people. But I've
Yeah, you
never
can just
done
do
that
tech. You
before.
can just do tech finance now.
Exactly. Just
You
go
can
the
just
complete
say
opposite.
bucket. Yeah.
Like that was starting to sound really appealing to me because then I was like, maybe then I'll finally believe that my corporate job doesn't matter and I don't need to stress about it. If I remove every aspect of it mattering, because right now there's still the like healthcare, I can make the argument, you know? Anyway,
Yeah,
I've
but
just
I
been thinking
bet
about this a lot.
yeah, it is a fun thought experiment. I mean, there's also the human part. You're a people pleaser and
Yeah.
I don't think any respectable person wants to let down the people who are relying on them at their job, whether the
Yeah.
fucking project matters or not. You don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
So I I personally can't really say. I mean, that's what kept me going in the jobs I hated when I felt like literally what I was doing in tech didn't matter at all. And but I wasn't going to slack off and like let down people who relied on me or people who
Yeah.
hired me or whatever. Yeah. It okay, well, so what I wanted to ask you was how are you with taking breaks through the workday? Because I feel like for me, I'm not great at it, but the it sounds so simple, but I think when I start like getting the most wrapped up in the stress and the pressure and oh my God, am I gonna get this done?
Yeah.
Is when I just like haven't stepped away from the computer in a
Mm-hmm.
while. And then if I go and just fold some fucking
Touch
laundry for
grass.
10 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah, or touch a single blade of grass, then I can come back and I'll be like, oh, yeah, this is really annoying that I'm editing at 1 a.m., but it's gonna
Yep.
get done. And then like this day is gonna end and then I'll have a different day. All right, let's do it.
Yep.
It's annoying. I'm uncomfortable right now. It's not pleasant, but like it's not existential.
Yes. I try to do that. I think I'm bad at it. The thing that's interesting is like both of us work from home. So in a way, like a break is really accessible at all times and I'm not sitting at my computer locked into work from 9 to 5 just because I work a 9 to 5 job because I work remotely and there's that flexibility. So like I'm like the nature of my job allows for a lot of breaks and I feel like I do take breaks all the time, but not when I'm stressed out. Like on the days that I'm like, "Oh God, there's so much to do and everyone's pissing me off and like la 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 la, la, I have to do all these tasks."
Relatable. Yeah.
I lock in to my computer. It becomes an addiction. I feel like I'm addicted to like the anger I'm feeling or the like the rage or the frustration or like just getting to get finishing the thing so I don't have to think about it anymore. Like whatever the
Mm-hmm.
problem is that's frustrating me, I become addicted to it and I like stay locked in. So yeah, it's funny because on a normal day, I'd be taking breaks, but on
That's
those
so
types of
true.
days, I'm like locked in and those are the times that I should be taking a break. You're absolutely right.
Here are my thoughts on that. So I feel pretty similarly, and I used to think maybe it was like a perfectionist thing or even kind of like an OCD thing of like once I get in a task, it is really hard for me to stop until it's done. Or like an ADHD hyperfixation thing, like who knows? There's a million
Yeah.
different ways you could frame this or pinpoint a cause for it. But I think really what it is like yes and no to all of those, which is like it's just anxiety. I think it's
Mm,
anxiety. It's this fear that like usually for me in those moments when it's like a stressful moment in work and I cannot pull away to take a break, at the root of it is a fear that I will never be able to finish this thing. And
hmm.
so I certainly can't step away because if I even step away, first of all, then it's definitely not getting done in that moment. And the whole time I'm away, I
Yes.
am not even present and relaxing or
Yeah.
breathing because I am worrying about the fact that I'll never finish this. But
Yeah.
it's not fucking true. I will finish it. I always do. And if me putting a certain amount of energy and focus and manpower towards this project doesn't finish the project, then it wasn't a doable project. Like if the project's doable, I get it done. If I have to ask for an extension, sometimes you do, and then you ask for it and you get it done. If the project is deemed like something we need to bail on, it's not appropriate, it doesn't fit in the budget, it doesn't fit in the month, it doesn't whatever, then we bail. It's like, but it just doesn't go on forever. And still,
Yeah.
I get wrapped up in the anxiety, this idea that I will never be done working on this one task that's stressing me out right now. And and this the stepping away thing, I think really is like just first remembering there is going to be a day when I'm no longer working on this task.
Yeah.
There is going to be a day when I actually forget this was ever a stressful point in my life.
Yeah.
It is going to finish, it is going to come to an end. So it's okay for me to pause right now and take 5 minutes to restore my sanity, kind of.
Yeah. I really relate to the like if I step away, I'm just going to be thinking about it. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
that even happened to me this weekend. Like I've been going nonstop work wise, podcast wise. Like I'm bringing back my other podcast, which all of these things are like things I chose, you know, like I had friends over staying with me and I went on a vacation, which vacations are supposed to be fun, but I was just like, we were just doing adventures and I was tired the whole time. Like all of these things are things I chose. Some of them are even supposed to be fun, positive things, but it left me feeling after a few weeks like totally burnt out. And I still have more things to do. Like yesterday, I was burnt out. My friends who were staying with me had left. There was an opportunity to have a nothing day on, you know, I love my ugly nights on Sundays. And like, I haven't had one in a while. And so I knew that that was what I needed to do, but I also could not stop thinking about, okay, but on Monday I have to do this thing, and on Tuesday I have to do this thing. And like I I just spent my whole Sunday of relaxation. I forced myself to take it to relax as opposed to I could have done some of the work and I said, "No, don't do the work today. You need to relax." But then the whole time I spent just thinking about what was coming and it's really hard for me to turn that off. And I need to figure out how to turn it off because the to-do list never ends. And as soon as you finish one task, another three pop up. So like I'm very well aware that this is not a sustainable
I know.
thing, but it is so, so hard for me to separate,
Yeah.
to like truly unplug from everything that needs to
Yeah.
get done, even if I know it's gonna get done and I'm still
Yeah.
thinking about it.
I think I really relate to that. Also, God, even just talking about like the to-do list that, you get one done, three more pop up, like just that nature of life,
Yeah.
like kind of drives me crazy. But
Yeah.
I don't even know how to get into that. I guess that's just
I
life,
know.
but I do hate it, and I don't even have kids yet, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the
Yeah.
fuck? But yeah, I think it does get better taking breaks. It's kind of like yeah, like exposure therapy
Mm.
of like doing it a few times, and usually for me it's like I think I won't be able to think about anything else. And then I force myself to take the break. And then, if it's a 5-minute break, I'm still thinking about work the whole time, but it is still good for my body and my mindset.
Yeah.
And then if it's like a take an hour break because you're going to go to dinner with a friend in the evening and then you can come back after dinner and do more work, that's almost harder for me because I'm like, I definitely won't be able to unplug. But
Yeah.
usually in like 30 minutes, I can release things. And then I feel like the more I practice that, the more trust I have in doing it. And
Yeah,
like
that
the
makes sense.
exposure therapy builds up a little, but the alternative just feels so horrible?
I know. If they're both going to be hard, you might as well do the thing that's like better for your body.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I start.
Yes.
Is like do
Yeah.
that thing, go outside, go
Yeah,
for a
that's
walk,
good.
whatever,
Yeah,
and
I
then
like
like the
that.
mental will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah,
Yeah.
that is tough and I'm such a hyper fixator or hyper focuser or something like you were talking about that too, whether I guess anxiety is where you landed and I think you're right. Like I the way that I've always worked, and I've talked about this too, the way I've always done work, no matter what it is, podcast, corporate job, just like tasks around the house, whatever, is like spurts. Like for an hour or two, I am hyper focused. I'm cranking like all eight things out
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting them done from beginning to end so that I never so that they're all done and I can check them all off and I like don't have to think about them anymore. Like I just started going to this new workout class that really satisfies that part of me because it's like 6 blocks of 6 minutes each and once you finish a block, you never have to do those exercises again. And I love it. Like
Yeah,
I
I
need to
don't
just
like
not
knowing.
I don't want to
Yes.
repeat this. I don't want to
I
have to come
hate when
back
they're
to it.
like, yeah, they're like, it's a circuit. We're gonna do, and you finish the
No.
circuit once, and then they're like, now we just got three more times. No,
No.
I
No.
would rather do twice as long of a workout, and everything is new
Same.
every
And
time.
everything is new. And give me
What?
something different every 6 minutes. Yeah,
What? No.
exactly. And that's how I am with work. It's like I start a task, I complete a task, never think about it again. Start a task, I complete a task, never think about it again. And the problem is, of course, you have to think about it again because you work with other people and they'll come in and comment. And
Yeah.
then I have like paralysis because I have their comments that I have to respond to. And I'm like, but I never wanted to think about that thing again. And it just, it's so hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard. But yeah, I'm a hyper
Yeah.
fixator. And so I don't
Yeah.
think that bodes well for this like trying to separate and take breaks and all of that. But I know
I
I need
think,
to more
yeah,
than anyone probably.
acting from a place of anxiety, acting directly from that anxiety, whether in work or in life, um, you know, it may theoretically address the thing that's causing anxiety, but it's really bad for long-term
Yeah.
sustainability.
Yeah.
Almost always with pretty much everything. I had yeah, like a night this month where I was editing this video and it was I'm always like, "Oh, I only have a couple more hours to edit." And then it's fucking whatever o'clock in
Yes.
the morning. And it was like 1 a.m. and I was really fucking hating editing. I don't even want to look at this video anymore. I'm tempted to release it without even finishing the edit because I'm so angry and this is so not worth it. and I could just sit down and like crunch out. I was like, I probably have another hour and a half. Okay, I could sit down, like crunch it out right now, knock it up, and just get more and more tense in my body, more and more angry at the world, hate this thing more and more. Or I could just accept I'm not going to sleep very much tonight and I'm going to extend that hour and a half of work into 3 more hours of work. And instead, I got up at 2 a.m., left the desk, went and folded some laundry, put up some wallpaper on the walls, like something I enjoyed. Then I go at it again, do 30 minutes until I can't handle it. And
Mm.
then I went downstairs and I like did some vacuuming. What are the things I wish I had time to do during the day? I wish I had time to clean. Wish I had time to vacuum. I wish I had time to put this away. And I just started doing these things. It was like, okay, I'm not sleeping tonight. I do have a deadline. I'm going to be able to sleep tomorrow and I'm going to make this. I'm actually going to take more time to do this so
Yeah.
that the feeling in my body is not corrosive and I won't die a young death. And that felt great. I just had to like mentally accept it. It was fucking fine.
Yeah, I like that. Like, okay, if I'm gonna, it kind of goes back to the scavenger hunt.
It's like
It's
this
like,
night already sucks anyway.
let
Yeah.
me make it a little more fun, or like, okay, I'll just maximize it. Let me just get even more done with it.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I really like that actually. And I
It
related
it
when you
was great. I
said
mean, obviously I don't suggest doing that
all the
several
time.
times a
Yeah.
week, but it was like, maybe I have like 2 or 3 nights, maybe 2 or 3 nights a month like that,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, I've put myself in this situation, obviously, because I didn't plan ahead enough with my schedule. Now
Yeah.
I'm here. I might only get, you think I might only get 4 hours of sleep? Fuck it, make it two. I'm gonna do some chores. Like it's okay. And
Yeah.
I didn't hate the process as much, actually. Yeah, I really didn't.
Interesting. Yeah. And I really related when you said, like, you sit down to edit and you're like, oh, just take me a couple hours. And like 5 hours later, like, I'm really bad at gauging how long things are going to take me, I think. And
I
I
know,
also
when will
think
I
part of it is
learn?
because of perfectionism. Like,
Yeah.
I. Like, I could probably do something like some task in 2 hours, but to do it to the level that I'm going to be happy with, and in the way I like to do it, which is like sitting down and cranking it out all at once, it's gonna take me six. Like, it can get, somebody can do it in two, or like I could do it in two, but not be like as proud of the output. And that's something that I'm really bad at giving up, is like
Yeah, I
the
don't know if you
output
have
being lesser,
to.
you know?
If it's something you take pride in, it's like you can like I feel like the difference is like for me, yeah, with my videos, it's like, well, why am I working on this at 2 a.m.? Because it's actually something I take really
Because I
seriously and
care.
I'm proud of, and I'm not going to put out a bullshit video. Like people comment on and appreciate the amount of work I put into my videos, and I appreciate it. So I'm choosing this. No one's holding a gun to my head.
Yeah.
And so like I'm doing this for a reason. It's like you said, it wouldn't be something you were happy with. And then in order to achieve this end goal of something you're happy with, in the meantime, you're making yourself fucking miserable and nasty. And
Right.
so instead it's like, okay, I'm staying up till 3 a.m. because this is what I'm going to be happy with. So let's make it happy. And
Yeah.
let's spread it out. Let's take it easy because this is actually what I choose. I'm choosing this.
Yeah. This whole episode is my pep talk for editing this episode,
Ha ha
because
ha ha
Abby's on
ha.
vacation. And yeah, and I'm going to make it, I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to make it so fun. I hope everyone, when they listen, knows that I turned it into a really fun night.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell that you made it fun. I can feel
You
already
can
the
feel it
edits are
already
good.
in the
Yeah.
pre-edit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Like
you.
what are cute little things you could do for your breaks? I do like sometimes I do like a 5-10 minute break. Sometimes it's like a 30-minute break. What are some cute little things? I personally like to get like chores done because that feels good in my body. I'm moving around, I'm not at a
Yes, I love
screen.
that too.
It feels productive. It gets like a to-do list thing off my list.
I have a whole, yeah, list of like little around the house things that I've been putting off, and I'm sure that I
Yeah.
could do a couple of them
Little
with
random things.
breaks. Yeah, like I have a shelf I want to put up. I know exactly where I want it to go and everything. It's just a matter of like getting up there and doing it. The bed behind me needs sheets. Got to put sheets on that bed. Like, there's
Oh,
random shit
totally.
I could do.
Sheets on
Yeah,
bed, yeah. I'm a little nervous about you putting up the shelf because that can be a frustrating process. So
I know. That's
don't make it a
true.
hard something that's like a hard test. I feel like it should be something that it's like, I can do this with my eyes closed.
Mm,
Gets my body
there's
moving.
always laundry. I'll find
It's
a way.
laundry.
Where there's a will, there's a
Fucking
way. It's
hate
always
laundry.
laundry. It's
I
always fucking
fucking hate
laundry.
laundry.
It's all the time.
Is that even an interesting thing to say? I hate it so much more than cleaning or scrubbing or
Yeah,
anything.
I
Anything.
know. I
Ugh.
know. And then you let it sit. Like there, I had this period where I was doing really well with my laundry and I was um taking it right out of the dryer and folding it right away, which is
Like a
great because then it doesn't
maniac.
get all wrinkly,
Yeah.
but I can't do that all the time. So right now I have a wrinkly basket waiting for me and I'm like annoyed that I let it get there, but what can you do? Laundry's happening
Okay.
all the time.
So here's my question.
Mhm.
I feel like can you rerun it in the dryer
Mm.
and get the wrinkles out again?
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
But
It's
then I
already
forget
out
that
of
it's
the
there
dryer.
again. Okay, okay.
I could put it back in, but like maybe that is a slight barrier. If I had sometimes it just sits in the dryer for a while and I haven't even gone to take it out and put it in a basket. So then
Yeah.
it's very easy to just be like, okay, why not? It's still in the dryer. Run it for
Run it
another
again.
20, get those wrinkles out. Is this interesting? This is what my day-to-day life
Is
mostly
this
consists
interesting?
of.
I think this is what everyone's day is
Yeah.
me not wanting to take clothes out of the dryer because when they're in the dryer, it kind of feels like they're washed, they're cleaned, they're dried, and it kind of feels like they're put away because they're
Yeah,
in
it
that
does.
little, it's like it's in the cabinet. And it's like, well, if I take them out, now there's a mess of stuff I have to fold. But if I just keep them in the dryer,
But you know what's bad is when
what?
so that feels good for a little while, but then when you need to do more laundry and you
Yeah,
start the wash
yeah,
and then it's done in the wash and then you open the dryer and you're like, fuck, there's clothes in here.
yeah.
That that whole
That's
chaos
the worst
of
thing that can ever happen to a
oh
person. That's the worst. That's the hardest thing that's ever happened to me.
it's just staring you in the face like I'm
Yeah.
here because of you fucker, you know. It makes you feel
Okay,
really bad.
here.
I'm cursing a lot today. I'm just
Yeah,
really
you're crazy. You're a
I'm
crazy whore.
crazy.
You're a crazy bitch. So you just described the feeling that I think most often is my like feeling of stress or frustration. Which is, did you ever play that game called Rush Hour? Was it called Rush Hour with the little cars?
Oh,
Is it called
uh,
Rush Hour or is that the Jackie
Rush Hour
Chan
is a
movie?
movie,
Hold
but
on, let me think.
was it a game?
Yes, Rush Hour, traffic jam, logic game.
Oh, I don't think I've
So
played this.
it's a fucking great. It was just like a game that my parents would make me sit in the back of a car with for like a long car ride, and I'll describe it. I'll describe it not visually because this is audio, but um, to give you the visual, it's a, like kind of a little board game, maybe like 5 inches by 5 inches, and there's kind of a grid track system on them, and the game is covered in little plastic cars, like a traffic jam, and there's different arrangements. You get like you have the game tells you like an arrangement that you have to start them in of all the cars, like they're all interlocked and it's like a crazy traffic jam. And then you have to get like the red car. The red car has to be like able to exit the traffic jam. But in order to do that, you can only move each car like they can only each move one space at a time and you have to like move 18 things to like unmove three things to like remove four things and then eventually are you sharing it? You're sharing
I'm
it on the
sharing my
screen.
screen. Yeah.
Yes. I fucking love this game. I was obsessed with playing this game and it's not there's like different levels, like it gives you different setups, like
It
infinite
seems
setups of like
fun.
it's so fun. It's a solo game, which are all my favorite things are solo things. And it's a fun game. It's Rush Hour and this is the feeling I always try to explain when it's that feeling of like, okay, I want to do laundry, but if I want to do my laundry, I have to first take laundry out of the dryer and have
Yeah.
to fold it. But if I want to fold that, first I have to build that dresser that I just got delivered from IKEA and I haven't built that thing, but I haven't built it because there's a bed in the way and my cousin's coming to stay and I can't move that bed until my cousin comes. So if I want to do that, I have to wash the windows first, but I can't do that until I've called my mom. It's like in order to get one fucking thing done, there is like a
Hmm.
trail of 12 other things you have to do first. Talk about paralysis. Anyway, I always feel like my life is just a moment of Rush hour, traffic jam, logic game.
I now that I like stared at it for a while you described it, I feel like maybe I have played it or I've played similar games and I
Yeah,
totally
you know that feeling.
understand. It's like the gridlock of like
Yes,
or like
yes,
Tetris, I feel like it just you
yes.
have to move things out of the way in order to get to the root thing that you're trying to get to,
Yeah.
which is
But
very
sometimes you also have to
annoying.
move more things in the way. That's
Yes,
the
move
hard
them in
part.
the way to move them out.
Yeah, what? I gotta take
Oh,
that laundry. I gotta take it back to the laundry in the dryer.
it's making me s- like it's making me feel really seen. Like I actually am looking at this game right now and feeling emotional. I feel
Oh my God,
so seen.
Jessica.
This is
Jess.
that's what life is. That's what life is right now, I
So
think for
dumb.
me. It's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that have to
Interlocking
get moved around.
pieces.
I feel like every day is just yeah, moving around different things. Like, oh, now this needs to be over here. Now it needs to be over here. Now, I don't know. Or like the to-do list that you check
Yeah,
something off
I
and three more things
know.
pop up. It's just a nightmare.
It kind of is. I mean, that part is kind of depressing to me.
It's really depressing to me. And then I feel like I want to complain about it pretty much all the time, but I can't complain about it because one, I know that everybody else deals with it too. And two, most of the things going on are things that I've chosen for myself. And I just feel like I'm not
Mm.
allowed to complain, but all I want to do is complain. So then I like lock Ryan in a room and I'm like, I'm going to complain about this rush hour junior game of my life for a
Yeah,
little while. You have to listen because I don't know who
yeah.
else to tell. But now we're
I feel
saying it
like that's
here.
the value of like that is basically the value of having a life partner or a best friend or whoever that
You
is
have to
being like
listen to me.
all I'm doing is living a life that's a very average life with very average relatable problems that everybody has, and it's really not appropriate to make anyone listen to these complaints except for you. So do it.
Yeah. And you have to listen to me
You
complain
have
about the
to.
things that everyone else is complaining about to someone, hopefully, I
Yeah.
hope.
I
But
choose
I don't
you to
get to
listen.
complain them.
I choose
Complain to
you.
them. I choose
I don't get
you.
to complain them.
I don't get to complain them. That was a great chat,
Yeah, give me a little diddle
personally.
bop.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, this is a complaint. Okay, this is something I think I can complain about publicly, and I don't need Ryan to hear it specifically, although I'll tell him about it too.
Okay.
I I feel like I've been getting a lot of fashion content online, like Instagram Reels feeding me styling videos, which I love. I love watching them. I love getting new ideas. I'm always about like shopping my own closet and figuring out new ways to combine things. So, like, I'm down. But a lot of times recently, I've been noticing styling videos where like they're like, here's an outfit, here's styling tips and an outfit for like brunch with your girls. And they'll just put on a dress. And I think that doesn't count. You didn't style, you bought a dress and then you put
Yeah,
it
yeah.
on your body. Like,
Yeah. They didn't
give me
style it.
separates, give me something original. It makes me irrationally angry
Yeah.
that I'm like looking for some tip and they're like, here's this black day dress that I am putting on and now you're ready for brunch. I'm like, I already know that. That's the only thing I wear. Give me give
That's
me
the only
something
thing I
new.
would do with that dress is put it on
Is
my
put it
body.
on. They're
Yeah.
like, you know, choose a shoe. Yeah, I know. You need
Don't
a bag to put your stuff
s-
in.
stop going to
Hmm.
brunch barefoot. Oh, okay.
Does this annoy
Yeah.
anyone else? I just feel like it's
Yeah,
not,
I feel
that's
annoyed.
not,
I feel annoyed.
thank you. It's not what I'm looking for from those videos. I want to see combos. I want to see unexpected color blocking and
Mm-hmm.
patterns. I want to see things I wouldn't wear because I do wear the
A
dress and the
black
shoes.
dress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Cosign, cosign.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have anything to complain about? I'm just mad at tall people who walk slower than me. What is
Yeah.
your excuse? What is your fucking excuse?
I really hate that. I'm like, I'm actively mad. What is
Yeah.
what is the reason?
I don't know. Justin and I talk about it all the time because holy shit, his body hardly moves when we're walking. And he observes, he's like, all the shortest girls I know are like speed walkers. And
Hmm.
I swear to God, all short girls are faster walkers than
I walk fast.
any man of any height.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just assume it's like if I walked at a leisurely pace to do all the things I have to do in the day, I would never get there because my legs are like a third of the size of yours,
Right.
a third of the length. So it's like you just get used to speed walking or you'd be late all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably very true because
Maybe.
I
I
do
don't
think
know.
all of my short friends, other than Kai, who's like definitively a slow walker and like proud of it, but everybody else, including myself, is a speed walker. And I think it's probably, yeah, it's like we had to keep up somehow. Um,
But then also, I guess my own a counterpoint to what I just said is that like we're actually going faster than everybody. So clearly it is possible to function moving like a slug.
so are we finding out that we, and therefore probably a large portion of our audience, is anxious, fast walking, short women who like the
Yeah.
game Rush Hour?
Actually, yes, I think they are. I think that's
Yeah.
95% of who's listening.
Yeah. The people pleasers at work. Pretty much everything we've talked about in this episode, we're just painting the picture of the demographic here because it's us.
Yeah. We know there's some tall people in here. We know there's some men, and we know there's some people who are well adjusted and aren't anxious about everything.
Are there
But
well-adjusted people here?
yeah,
There's probably a few. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think they listen as religiously because they don't need this.
Yeah. They
But
don't need it like
well-adjusted
I
people,
need it.
yeah, well-adjusted people get bored sometimes and are like, all right, I'll put on some fucking noise
No, you know
to
what they
fill my
do?
ears. What do they do?
Yeah,
What
they
do
like,
well-adjusted people do?
I feel like well-adjusted people can just like lay and do nothing or like listen to mute. This is something Ryan
Mm,
does. I that like
I know what you're gonna
fascinates
say. This
me.
is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
He turns on music in like our room and lays on the bed and just hangs out and listens to the music. He's not looking at a phone, he's not reading.
Right. And
He's
he's
just
not on
listening to
acid.
music. And
He's
he's
not.
sober.
That's the only
Yeah.
time I think I do that
He's
is if I'm
he's
on a
the
drug.
most sober. It
Yeah.
is I imagine that that's what well-adjusted people do.
Yeah,
It
I think
sounds
so.
cool, but I won't. You won't see me doing that ever.
Sometimes I do make I think my version of that, really just like rugging out, just being a rug,
Rugging out.
is sometimes I go to the bathroom and I don't bring my phone and I make myself look at the floor.
Oh,
And
I do that too. And I'm like, this is going to be a
it's
challenge.
fun. It's fun. And then sometimes I like remember what it was like to be 12 and just
Yeah.
like try to find shapes in the tiles of the floor or on the wall.
No, I'm,
I
wow.
would rather do that though than sit still and listen to music.
I agree. But it is a choice, don't you? I feel like it's a choice every time I do that, where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bring my phone in the
You know
bathroom
what
this
would be
time.
crazy? Is if I stared at the floor while I took a shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, look at you, girl. You're so present. The only present
I
moment that you
know.
chose in your day is with
Truly, I feel
yourself
like
on the
I
toilet.
know there should be more Instagram reels about like be present in this moment and then it's just like
Don't
pooping in
bring your phone to the
stillness.
bathroom.
Don't bring
Yeah.
your phone to the bathroom. It's
Sometimes I
hard.
stick my phone. Never mind. I don't want to share that.
Oh my God, where do you stick it?
That made it
What?
sound worse, so now I'll
Yeah,
just
you
say
gotta finish it now. You gotta
it.
finish it.
I have one of these like Octo Buddy grip things on the back of my phone where you can just stick it
Cool.
places
I
like on a
like.
window to take a selfie.
Very cool. It's a little suction cup.
Little
Very cool.
suction thing. It's really helpful. Like honestly, great thing to get. But sometimes I stick it on the shower. We have a shower that's not a tub that has like glass from floor to
Mm-hmm.
ceiling, and the Octo Buddy will stick right on there, and I can like listen to voice memos from my friends
Oh
or
yeah, I listen to
listen to
podcasts in the
podcasts or
shower.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Take a
I don't
selfie.
know. Yeah. Okay. It's not that embarrassing. I think I was thinking of it from the perspective of like, wow, you really can't separate from your phone for a 5 minute shower, but like, I can't. Okay. There's a lot on there. There's a lot that I need to keep up with. So yeah, that's what I do. It's not
Yeah.
as bad as it maybe was gonna sound.
No, I think it was good. I think it was better that you said that than said, you know where I stick my phone? Actually, never
Actually,
mind. I
never
shouldn't say
mind.
that. Actually, never mind. Did you ever use your mouth as a speaker?
No, like putting the bottom of it in
Yeah, if
there.
you put like the bottom, like if you don't have a speaker, but you have to play music
Have you
loudly,
done that?
you
Have
just
you
put
done
it, you just, if you can open your mouth wide enough, it's kind of like how you put it in a cup,
that in a
and
cup?
the cup is, you can just use your mouth.
How long? Like, I could see myself doing that if I really needed somebody to hear like 5 seconds of a song right now
Yeah.
and we were in a loud place. But how would you just do that for a whole party?
Yeah, if you're DJing or like
Oh,
for someone forgot to bring a
that's
speaker.
what DJ is. Oh,
That's
here
what
you go, guys.
DJ,
I'll
that's
just
what they're
do
doing
this.
up there. Speaking of which, speaking of the stupid fucking internet and stuff that is annoying on there, I saw yet another video like just this week. I got fed some random DJing content from like
Sure.
South Korea, and I would just all it just brought me back to the original question that's never been answered, which is what are they doing up there that they couldn't do at home in a production studio and then just release
Yeah,
as a track?
as a track.
Why do you have to be here live? What are they doing?
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're really hype people,
Yeah.
like, and sometimes they really hype me up. Like, I have to give it credit. There's these two guys on Instagram who do a lot of like mashups. And when they're on Instagram playing the track or the mashup that they created, like, they're really just playing it. But they're dancing behind the DJ booth and they like
Yeah.
do these faces. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like, I get it. So I
Okay.
think it's a lot of it is like a salesmanship.
Yeah,
Like
that's
DJs
actually
are
probably
salesmen.
that is actually probably the most accurate description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we figured it out. 129 episodes. I don't know when we talked about that. It was probably like episode 9. So
What
120
is
episodes
DJ?
later. Yeah.
I hope they're not too stressed about their jobs, but if you're stressed about your job, remember it's just a scavenger hunt. You're going to get these things done. Whip it through and be feel a little bit of that giddiness. Get rid of a little bit of that existential dread.
I feel a lot better just
Me too.
after this. So thank you.
All right, love
Love
you.
you.